closest.
The closest.
That's how that works, right?
Yeah. You can have like 13 in the box.
Yeah. Let's see. You can't get in there from here, can you? You gotta go all the way
You gotta go all the way around and back through and walk over.
Can you go?
Dude, it's definitely gonna be bacon. I saw his brother.
I was gonna say, yesterday was about the size. Oh my God.
I thought he was a junior in the box. I thought he was a junior in high school or sophomore grade. Great.
Let's go.
Like, if you could have told me sophomore, I would have believed you.
Foul 5 times. Real stiff.
Oh, I think it was Wednesday we have a game. By where I live. You guys come to where I live. Right down the street. Yeah, Wednesday night we got a game. Against the Vikings. Or is it Wednesday this coming Wednesday? Is it Thanksgiving Wednesday? So in a couple weeks.
Good morning. Early start here in Chicago. First game of the day, final game of the pool play. KC Hockey Club versus the Chicago Blues. 7:50 scheduled start. Just a couple minutes behind schedule here. Kansas City in the white sweaters today as the home team. Chicago Blues in the black sweaters with blue and white trim. Kansas City coming off of a 5-0 victory last night, the evening game, game 2 of pool play. 2-1, or I should say 2-1 in their first game. 5-0 in their second game. 2-0 heading into this third game of pool play. Kansas City going with Ethan Eager in net. Smith will take the face-off. Allender and Bachta on the wings. KC controls the face-off. Turned over the neutral zone, though. Back to Chicago Blues. Chicago just over the line there. Trying to cross into the Kansas City zone. Offsides. First whistle. 10 seconds into the game here. Face-off controlled by Chicago. They play it back to the right deep, flip it up to the neutral zone, trying to get something going. They'll dump it in the Kansas City zone. Puck trickles behind Eager. Allender back, or McClin, I should say, back there to chase it down. McClin and Barron are your defensive unit. Trying to clear it out, comes back to the point. Shot wide left, goes beside Eager. Kicks into the near corner. Allender trying to dig it out and send it over the blue line to clear the zone. Barron there as well in support. Barron digs it out momentarily, backhands it back up into traffic though, and then send it right back in. Back over the blue line. Another offsides call on the Chicago Blues. With another face-off here, Kansas City will switch it up. Johnson comes on. JC and Howard. Normally a line here with Hargadine. Hargadine not feeling well this morning, under the weather. Wish him well, hopefully a speedy recovery and better by the afternoon. KC controls the face-off. Howard with the shot. Turned aside by the Chicago goalie. Kicked into the near corner. JC in a battle, digs it out and sends it back down behind the net. Blues chase it down, trying to send it up and out, but Howard pinches off the pass right there on the far boards, trying to keep it alive. Johnson there in support as well. Couple good poke checks by Johnson and Howard that keep it alive. Blues trying to clear it. Howard ends up with the puck in the far corner. Trying to dig it out and get some separation for a pass. 3 Blues in support now. They eventually dig it out and they'll clear the zone. Blues rush over the red line through the neutral zone into the Kansas City zone. Weisner and Phillips on for defense for Kansas City. Phillips will chase that down in the far corner. Kansas trying to clear it out. Johnson trying to flip it up past the blue line, but it's kept in at the point. Shot blocked by Kansas City. Howard backhands it out of the zone. Blues trying to pick up the loose puck on their own side. Overskate it momentarily. Eventually regain possession. Logan Weisner on the ice here with Gunnar Smith and Logan Powell on the near boards. Smith comes away with it. He chips it around one defender. He'll chase it down into the corner. Smith beats his man to the puck. Trying to free it back up and pass it back to Logan Weisner. Logan Weisner picks up the loose puck, trying to get a shot, or a pass, I should say, back to the point for a shot, but just out of the reach of Hill. Hill runs it down, plays it off the boards, back to Weisner. Weisner looking for the open man. He'll play it over to Powell. Powell across the red line. Powell into the zone, across the blue line. He'll skate it down deep. Smith rolls back on defense. Now they rotate back. Powell back on D. Smith comes right back to the top of the face-off circle. Shot! right off the goalie's chest, blocked it up over the crossbar. It settles down behind the net. Blues pick up the loose puck, trying to clear it out. Kept in by Dungy. Eventually chipped back out by Chicago, and Casey will reset. Powell picks up the loose puck. He plays it over to Brown. Brown across the blue line. Brown looking for a shot. Blocked by a Chicago defender. Run down by Myers. Blues across the blue line, down to the face-off circle, forced into the corner by McLean. They go around looking for a centering pass. Then off the side of the net and poked away by McLean. Another shot. Kick saved by Johnson. Never got to the net. Blues carried behind the net. Circle around, pressure by Barron. Brown in support as well. Brown chips it ahead for Johnson. Johnson plays it off the boards. Around one defender, trying to chase it down. Kicks it back to himself, regains control. Johnson in the near corner. Trying to evade a defender, but poke checked away. Blues trying to clear it, comes back out to McLean. McLean dumps it back down in the corner. Myers will dig it out. Myers and Bakta in a battle in the far corner. Puck comes back out to the left point. Trying to kept in by McLean, but poke checked away. Barron back checking. Shot saved by Eager. Great save by Eager. Kick aside. Barron picks up the loose puck. Barron plays it off the boards, looking for Bakta to clear the zone. Kept in by the Blues, though. A couple good poke checks. They prevent the clear. Playing in the battle with Smith down there, trying to get through a couple Blues. Shot goes wide right. Blues pick it up again, circle behind Eager. Smith chasing after it, trying to get an outlet pass to Myers. Myers backhands it up and out of the zone. Be an icing call, but Kansas City clears it. They'll get a breather. Freshen up the lines here with just over 9 minutes remaining in this first period. Howard takes the face-off. Trying to win it back to Weisner. Blues get it back to the point. Trying for a shot. Can't get anything going there. But Weisner and JC with a couple good poke checks, and Kansas City clears the zone. Weisner dumps it down just over the red line. JC chasing after it. A couple Blues in the near corner. They send it up and over the blue line, back in the neutral zone. Weisner and Allender there. Phillips in support as well. Blues chip it back in. Puck will circle behind Eager. Allender picks it up. Sends it back up the near boards for JC. JC with an outlet pass for Howard. Howard trying to play it back around some traffic, but poke checked away by the Blues, and they enter the Kansas City zone. Good poke check by Phillips interrupts that rush. Sends it right back to the neutral zone. Loose puck picked up by JC, trying to get through some traffic. Change of possessions there, and the Blues dump it back in. Phillips chasing after it, but icing call as they went across both red lines as Phillips was chasing after it. Brings the face-off back down to the Chicago zone. Johnson to take the face-off. Got Weisner and Dungy on the wings. Powell and Phillips are your defenders. Puck came out of the zone, or Hill I should say, Hill and Powell, your defenders. Puck came out of the zone on the pass from Hill to Powell. Back across the blue line for an offsides call. Casey controls the face-off. Powell plays it up through the neutral zone. Just out of the reach of Weisner, though, and the Blues regain control. Quick poke check by Kansas City, and they'll dump it back in. Weisner chasing after it. Dungy and Johnson in support on the near corner. Blues kick it back behind their own net. Trying to set up the breakout. They'll flip it back all the way through center ice. Good cross-ice pass. They get around some traffic. Powell back checking. Shot saved by Eager. He kicks it aside. Great save by Eager. Blues with a quick breakout there. Ended up with a breakaway. Eager up with the challenge.
Got
Trying to kick it ahead to Dungy. Dungy picks up a loose puck. They do clear the zone. Johnson skates through some traffic, picks up the puck, trying to bring it back to himself. Kept in though. Brown keeps it in at the blue line. Brown across the face-off circle. Shot flutters over the goalie's shoulder. Didn't get a good stick on it. Looked like it might have been blocked or tipped by a Chicago player, but nevertheless it floated towards the goal. Brown digs out the rebound. Backhand shot from Bakta, looking to get it right through the crease. Another backhand shot. 2 shots in a row. The second one went behind the net. First one saved by the goalie. Bakta trying to dig it out. He's back there with Smith. Barron and McLean back on the point. Loose puck kicked out by the Blues. They try to clear it. Outlet pass 2-on-2 now for Chicago. Battle here in the near corner. 2 players from each team trying to dig it out. McLean sets up in the crease. Bakta top of the slot. Barron and Smith in the corner. Puck trickles out. Brown will take it. Poke checked away by the Blues though. Barron back tied up on the boards. Smith plays it out. Gets checked, but he gets back to the point. Blues pinch down, face-off circle. Shot coming, and they score! Looks like they beat Eager through the leg pads. Might have been a 5-hole goal there. They pinched down below the face-off dot. Quick shot. Tough angle. I'm not sure if Eager saw it, but that puts Chicago up 1-0 here with the first strike. In the first period. KC controls the face-off. JC spins around, fires it off the boards, trying to get it out of the neutral zone. Picked off by the Blues. Howard, JC, and Myers in the neutral zone. Phillips and Landon Weisner are your defenders. The Blues take it around behind the net, behind Eager. Weisner chips it ahead looking for JC. JC trying to get around some traffic. Gets upended. Makes a pass from his knees though. Across the ice looking for Myers, but it does clear the zone. Chicago resets in their own zone. Good pressure by Myers. Forcing a pass. Howard down low in the far corner. Myers back to Howard. Howard just lost the handle there, trying to chip a pass back to the D-line maybe. The Blues pick up the loose puck. Shot from the face-off dot, blocked by Phillips. Doesn't get through the traffic. He plays it up to Allender. Allender fresh off the bench. Trying to get around some traffic. He gets boarded up. KC in a line change. Allender fending for himself over there with several Blues players on him. Johnson in support as well. Johnson and Allender trying to push through the traffic. Loose puck eventually comes out to the Blues, trying to clear it, comes kicked back in by Hill at the point. Allender trying to backhand it in to keep the play alive, comes back to the point again. Hill chips it ahead looking for Allender, but eventually cleared out. Johnson runs it down in his own zone. He'll circle behind the net, behind Eager. Turns, spins, fires it back to Powell. Powell plays it off the boards, trying to get it around some forecheck pressure by the Blues, but they keep it alive. Scrum in the near corner. Eventually Johnson comes away with it. He plays it off the boards looking for Hill. Over to Logan Weisner. Weisner trying to evade some traffic. He plays it back behind his own net to Powell. Powell up the boards looking for Allender. Allender skates it out to the neutral zone. Tape-to-tape pass right on the stick for Johnson. Poke checked away by the Blues. Right as Johnson crossed into the offensive zone. Cleared back out. A quick offsides as KC tried to put it back across the blue line. Offsides call with 3.5 minutes remaining in this first period. Line change for Kansas City. Smith will take the face off with Dungy and Bakta. Blues control the face off. Can't get it around Barron though. Barron flips it back in, backhand. No icing. Across the red line. Chicago goalie leaves it for his defender. They'll try to set something up. Pass, nobody home there. Smith looking for a quick shot right on target. Good play by Smith. Quick shot. Saved by the Chicago goalie. The defender tried to play it off the boards looking for another teammate there. Nobody home. Smith picked up a loose puck on the far post. Good quick shot. Chicago rushes through the traffic right after the faceoff, trying to play it through the neutral zone. McClin chips it back ahead across the red line. Loose puck picked up by Dungy. Dungy taps it over to Smith. Smith across the blue line into the zone, trying to bang it down low. Keeps the play alive. Baca chasing after it. Baca looking for a centering pass, but poke checked away by Chicago at the last second. Chicago will break it out on the right side. Pass up through the neutral zone. They get around some traffic. Barron bodies up his man, though. Good job to tie him up. Baca on the far boards. Tied up with Smith. Barron as well in support. Baca comes away with it, or Smith comes away with it. He plays it over behind his own net to McClin. McClin trying to tap it ahead to Dungy. Loose puck comes in front, picked up by Barron. Barron's going to skate it out. He's got some clearance ahead of him across the red line. Barron trying to get through some traffic. Comes away with it. Backhand shot right in the belly of the goalie, and he saves it. Covers it up. Good play by Barron there to get through some traffic. Got a backhand shot right into the belly of the goalie. Hung on to it. Looks like the puck dropped down for a small rebound, but he smothered it. We'll get a face-off here. Just over 2 minutes remaining in the first period. Johnson wins a face-off over to Myers. Myers back to the point to Phillips. Phillips backhands it back down low, looking for Myers. Blues play it around behind their own net, trying to clear it out. Howard there on the boards, trying to keep the play alive. Weisner back down to Howard. Johnson circles behind the net, trying to cut the play off. Johnson picks the pocket, looking for a centering pass. Trying to play it back to the point. Got poke checked away, though. Looking for Weisner back on the point, but couldn't get a crisp pass off. Good back check. Weisner poke checks that away. Just under 2 minutes remaining. The Blues pick up the loose puck behind Eager, circle around, trying to set something up. They play it back to the right D, back over the left D. Shot coming from the left D. Nope, they decide to go down low, back to the left D. Pass picked off by Myers, though. He plays it around the boards, trying to skate through some traffic. Lost an edge as he was going into the corner. Howard and Johnson pursuing in the near side, but the Blues play it out. Up and over the blue line, they clear the zone. Phillips and Weisner back. Howard with a good poke check, disrupts that rush. Johnson picks off the pass at the blue line. From the other direction with a good poke check though by the Blues as Johnson is streaking with Smith. Good poke check by Powell, and Powell interrupts it. Powell trying to get around some traffic. Blues return the favor and poke check of their own. JC fresh off the bench. Good back check by JC. He picks the pocket of the Blues. Smith and Powell with JC on the near side. Shot caroms off of the Kansas City defender. Loose puck bounces back into the slot. Eventually controlled by Powell. He clears the zone. Kansas City comes away with it. Logan Weisner across the blue line. Into the zone, trying to play it over for JC. Poke check though, errant pass, but JC picks it up. He plays it behind the net. Trying to find someone on the far side. Blues trying to clear it out, kept in by Smith. Smith plays it back to the left point. Or does Hill. Powell shot. Bouncer trickled, might have got tipped by JC and just went wide right. Clearing attempt by Chicago, gets it back in the neutral zone, and that'll do it for the first period. Good pressure there right at the end of the first period. Kansas City with a couple good rushes, a couple good shots. Just couldn't find the back of the net yet. We head into that second period down 1-0. All right, teams flip the ice, ready for the second period here. Barron and McLean on D. Bachta and Allender are your wingers. Smith will take the face-off. Face-off controlled by Kansas City momentarily, but lost the handle. Chicago rushes in, chips the play into the Kansas City zone. Blues reset back at the center ice. Back to the right defender. They'll reset. They dump it back in across the blue line. McLean chips it right back out and then sent right back in. Barron chasing it down in the far corner. He plays it up to Allender. Allender trying to get around some traffic, looking for a little chip pass over to Bachta, but it's picked off by the Blues. Kansas City resets. Dumps it back in the far corner. Blues circle behind their own goalie, trying to play it out. Outlet pass right up the blue line. Picked off by McLean. Howard over to Barron. Barron chips it ahead to JC. JC will dump it in. Johnson chasing after on the near boards after it circles back around, trying to play it back to Howard on the point. Howard gets through some traffic, looking for a pass over to JC, but just poke checked away at the last second there. Phillips runs down the clearing attempt. He plays it over to Howard. Howard collects the puck at center ice. Cross ice pass for JC. JC trying to get through some traffic. Poke checked away though. Offsides as the puck trickled over with JC and Johnson across the blue line. Streaking back, trying to get back on sides.
Clock's running. No.
He screwed up the clock. He didn't start.
Okay.
30 seconds off.
Oh, it's not started.
I know I was up late last night. I'm doing a little better job of the clock operator here, trying to get it squared up. Let's see here. KC wins a face-off, played it back to Phillips. Phillips trying to get it over to Weisner. Kansas City dumps it across the blue line. Johnson pursuing. Blues trying to clear it out. Good pressure by Kansas City though to prevent the outlet pass attempt. Chipped over there from Howard back to Johnson. Johnson and JC across the blue line. Johnson will dump it in behind the net and chase after. Johnson trying to play it back to the point, but intercepted by a Blues player. Comes all the way back to center ice. Phillips corrals the puck at center ice. They'll play it across to Weisner. Weisner will dump it across the blue line. Head back to the bench for a line change. Got a penalty coming up on Kansas City, delayed call. Didn't quite see it in the frame. I was looking at a different part of the ice, but looked like somebody boarded up a Chicago player on the far side. Looks like Johnson will go off for the penalty here. I'll score the clock up.
Let's go.
Kansas City goes on the penalty kill. Smith and Weisner are your forwards. Powell and Hill are your defenders. 5-on-4 here for the penalty kill with just over 12 minutes remaining in the second period. Face-off controlled by Kansas City. Hill trying to clear it out. Comes back to the point and kept in by Chicago. Chicago will play it behind the net. Powell chasing after it, trying to chip it ahead to Weisner. This puck comes back to the point and they keep it in. Picked up by Powell. Powell chips it ahead to Weisner. They clear the zone. Weisner turns, fires it right on target, right on the goal. Kicked aside by the Chicago goalie. Smith with good forecheck pressure. Comes back to the point. Hill trying to keep it alive. He chips it ahead looking for Smith. Smith trying to get a crack at it, but poke checked away by Chicago. Chicago clears the zone. Powell back checking with Weisner as well. Powell scoops it up. He'll circle behind Eager. Powell trying to play it up and off the boards down the zone, but kept in at the left point. Chicago dumps it back down low. Powell takes the man. Hill sets up in front of the net. Weisner got tripped up. D-to-D pass from Chicago. Back to the lefty again. Shot. Tipped over the crossbar off target. Chicago picks it up, trying to set something up. Chipped away by Powell. JC or Smith plays it around one defender. Had a little spot there to break out. Smith goes back to the bench. Lost his stick. Chicago regains control. Shot from the faceoff dot. And they score. Sneaks behind Eager on the left side. Johnson out of the box. That'll end the penalty. Chicago goes up 2-0 here. The power play goal. There were 3 seconds remaining on the clock. On the penalty to Johnson. Chicago sneaks in the blocker side, stick side of Eager. Put Chicago up 2-0.
Keep it up.
KC controls the faceoff. Bachta will dump it in. Allender, Bachta, and Howard are your forwards. Howard trying to pick up the puck behind the net, look for a centering pass. He digs it out, plays it back to the point to Barron. Shot coming from Barron. Saved by the Chicago goalie, kicked into the near corner. Allender trying to chip it back to McLean, but it's picked up by Chicago. McLean intercepts that pass at center ice. Corralled by Chicago, though, and they still enter the zone. Allender, backhand pass over to Bachta. Bachta trying to clear the zone. He backhands it across the blue line. Chicago dumps it right back in. McLean chips it ahead to Allender. Allender plays it off the boards, looking for Bachta. Just out of his reach. Pass picked up by Chicago. Chicago with a good chip pass into the zone. Trying to set something up. Dug out by Kansas City, though, and try to clear the zone. McLean trying to clear it out. Tip back, poke check. Bachta regains control. Barron clears it out. Chicago dumps it in from the neutral zone right behind Eager. Picked up again by McLean. We'll try it again after Bachta. McLean to Bachta. Bachta trying to clear it out. He chips it up and over the defender across the blue line. KC will head to the bench for a line change. Fresh legs on the ice. Smith, Myers, and Brown are your forwards. Long outlet pass. Blues, center ice. Trying to chip it ahead backhand. Weisner pulls it back to himself, trying to jump into the zone there, but a poke check as he was rushing across the blue line. Weisner and Phillips on D. Weisner to Phillips. Phillips plays it ahead looking for Myers. Can't quite clear the zone. Shot coming from the point. Kicked aside by Eager. Brown picks up the puck. Chips it up and out of the zone. Tied up on the boards by the Blues. Puck comes out to Myers. Myers trying to backhand pass over to Brown, but he got blocked by a Blues player at center ice. Blues to the neutral zone. Across the red line. Phillips takes the man into the corner. Smith back checking as well. Centering pass attempt kicked aside by Landon Weisner. Weisner clears the zone. Chicago will regroup with their own blue line. Chicago just across the red line. They chip it in. Weisner picks it up behind the net, chips it ahead to Phillips. Phillips trying to play it up to Myers. Myers chips it up and out of the zone. Right back in, though. Offsides call on the Blues. Face-off coming here with just under 8 minutes remaining in the second period. Johnson take the face-off with JC and Weisner on the wings. Hill and Powell, your defenders. Hill runs the puck down after the face-off, trying to play it up the boards, looking for Weisner. Weisner was skated out. Weisner through the neutral zone. Poke checked away as he was trying to get a pass to Johnson, but Hill picks up the loose puck. Hill trying to play it up to Weisner. Weisner circles around, picks up the loose puck, taps it over to Johnson. Johnson and Powell streaking across the red line. Johnson dumps it in. Chases after his own shot. Drop pass for a defender behind the net. Weisner trying to get it back to Hill. Poke checked away by the Blues. JC keeps it alive. Blues regain possession, though, and they'll eventually clear it out. Powell chasing after it. He'll circle in front of his own net, trying to play it out. Long pass looking for JC. Poke checked away, though. Good pass by Chicago through the neutral zone. Johnson digs out the pass in the corner. He'll play it over to Powell. Powell trying to get through some traffic. Outlet pass to Weisner. Weisner's got JC and Johnson streaking. Shot from Weisner. Didn't get a good stick on it. He'll head back to the bench for a line change.
Skate!
Chicago picks up a loose puck. They'll skate it out. They're across the red line. To the neutral zone, into the Kansas City zone. Shot right on target. Kicked aside by Eager. Barron chases the puck down in the far corner. Dungy trying to play it out. Gets poke checked away, but ends up on the stick of Howard. Howard tried to clear it out, but got poke checked again. Barron with the pass up to Smith off the board. Smith trying to get through some traffic, but poked away by Chicago. Chicago regroups. 2 quick passes right back in the Kansas City zone. McLean trying to play it up the boards to Howard. Scrum here with about 4 players tied up on the near boards. Eventually dug out by Smith. Smith plays it over to Barron. Barron backhands it up for Dungy. Dungy trying to play it off the boards, looking for a pass over to Howard. Chicago poke checks that away to interrupt the rush. Outlet pass by Chicago, a little too far, picked up by McLean. McLean trying to play it back to Howard. Poke checked away. McLean with the clearing attempt, goes right on target, no icing. This is a shot of right on goal, kicked aside by the Chicago goalie, and they'll regroup. Line change for Kansas City. Allender back checking, McLean and Barron back on D. Poke check by Barron disrupts that. He chips it ahead looking for Bakta, trying to get it out of the zone. Kept in at the point though by Chicago. They play it back down low to the far corner. Barron and Smith back there to pick the pocket. Play it ahead to Bakta. Bakta trying to clear the zone. He gets through some traffic. Bakta will bring it far left here in the neutral zone. Poke check by Chicago, but kept in by McLean. McLean chipped it ahead, but just over the blue line. Kansas City players offsides. We get a whistle here with just under 5 minutes remaining in this second period. Kansas City down 2-0. Biggest deficit so far of the tournament. Centering pass by Chicago, picked off by Kansas City. Bakta taps it over to Johnson after the poke check. Johnson across the blue line, trying to get a shot. Bouncer right off the leg pad, looking for a rebound, but kicked aside. Allender chips it back down low behind the net. Johnson and Brown pursuing. Phillips back on the left point. Phillips with the poke check, sends it back up to Brown. Brown chips it ahead in the neutral zone. Chicago regains possession. Chips it back to the neutral zone up the far side. Kicked back in by Kansas City. Chicago regains possession. The head of steam rushes right over the blue line. They'll circle behind Eager looking for a centering pass, but picked off. Johnson picks up the errant pass. He's across the blue line. He chips it around the boards, trying to skate through some traffic. Long pass picked off by Weisner at center ice. Smith backhands around some traffic. Outlet pass for Chicago, 2-on-2. Weisner and Phillips back on D. Shot blocked by Weisner, goes high off the glass behind Eager. Phillips in a battle, chips it over to Smith. Smith trying to get it around some traffic. Centering pass attempt by Chicago, kicked aside by Weisner. Brown tries to clear it out, comes back to the left point. Just over 3 minutes remaining. Good pass on the back door. Covered up by Eager. Good look of Chicago there. Couldn't find the handle as they were trying to pull the trigger on that backdoor pass. Fanned on the shot. Eager covered it up. Weisner trying to dig it out. Send it up the sideboards here. Kansas City clears the zone. JC comes away with it across the blue line. JC trying to get some space here for a shot. Lets one fly. Loose puck right in front. Cleared out by the Chicago defense. Good shot by Kansas City. Loose puck bouncing in front. Nobody home for a rebound. Chicago clears it out. Powell plays it over to JC. Touch pass back to Howard. Poke check though. Disrupts the rush. Hill and Powell behind the boards, or behind the goal, I should say. Play it up, trying to clear it out. JC with the poke check there. Howard in support with Powell. Chicago keeps it in though, right at the blue line. They'll eventually pull it back out and reset. Good poke check by Hill. Hill trying to get around some traffic. Hill's got JC streaking with him. Hill's across the blue line, trying to create some space, pull the trigger, but poke check by Chicago. Good back check by Hill. Powell separates the puck from the defender, or the winger, I should say. Chips it ahead to Howard. Howard trying to clear the zone, but kept in by Chicago. They play it back down low, looking for a centering pass right in front. Kick aside by Eager, cleared out by Powell. Kansas City clears the zone, just under 2 minutes remaining in this second period. Good puck moved by Chicago. They clear the zone, back to the neutral zone, across the red line. Poke check by Howard. Breakaway for Dungy. Dungy all alone, looking for a shot. Goes on the far side, chipped up and over. Saved by the Chicago goalie. Dungy pulled it back to the right side. The goalie got a stick on it and chipped it behind the net. Johnson trying to free up some space here. Plays it back to Barron on the point. Shot from Barron. Tip just wide. Barron got a good stick on it, just tipped wide. They play it back to McLean. McLean on the point. Trying to play it back down low, looking for Johnson. Dungy and Johnson there on the far side, or on the near side. Chipped back out though by Chicago. Chicago plays it back to the point, blocked by Dungy. Chipped out by Johnson. They'll clear the zone. Barron picks up the puck, trying to play it around some traffic. Poke check by Chicago. Johnson taps it back to Barron. Barron trying to get around some traffic. Another poke check, but it ends up on the stick of Bakta. Bakta across the blue line, trying to get a shot into the slot. Wide right. Bakta trying to chase down his own rebound behind the net. Good forecheck pressure by Johnson. Frees it right back up to Allender right in front. Shot! Scores! Allender with the rebound. Pokes it in. Kansas City's on the board. Allender with the shot on the rebound. Good forecheck pressure by Kansas City to keep that play alive. First shot was saved by the goalie, but Allender right there bangs it home, puts Kansas City on the board. Chicago controls the face-off, dumps it in. Circles behind the net. Allender boards up his man on the far side. 8 seconds remaining in the period. Loose puck dug out by Weisner. Weisner trying to get across the red line. 3 seconds looking for a shot. Weisner fires it just wide, and that'll do it. Kansas City on the board with their first goal. Cuts the lead to 2-1. Heading into this third period. See what Kansas City can do here. Heading into this third period, down 2-1. Kansas City with some good rushes there late in the second period. A lot of rebounds given up by the Chicago goalie. If Kansas City can just keep firing pucks on net, trying to create some opportunities in front of the net. A couple good shots. Rebounds trickling through the crease. We'll see if Kansas City can capitalize. Barron and McClin on D-line. Allender, Bakta are your wingers. Smith will take the face-off. We're underway in this third period. KC controlled the face-off momentarily, but chipped away by Chicago, and they dump it in the Kansas City zone. McLean trying to play it up to Bakta. Bakta tied up on the far boards, looking for an outlet pass. He plays it over to Allender. Touch pass over to Smith. Smith across the red line through center ice. Forced on the right side, he'll go wide. Down low, behind the net, looking for a centering pass right in front. Loose puck shot by Allison. Allender shot it right off the leg pad. Good puck movement by Smith over to Allender. Comes back to Barron on the point. Barron with a shot, got poke checked away, didn't get a good stick on it. Clearing attempt, kept in by McLean. McLean dumps it right back in, right on target. Goalie kicks it aside. Will leave it behind the net for his defender with a good forecheck though. Baca pokes it away. Chicago trying to clear it out, comes back to the point for Barron. Barron keeps it in at the point. Backhand shot, covered up by the goalie as it trickled in. Didn't get a lot of heat on it, but Johnson was right there looking for a rebound. Chicago goalie decided to cover it up. Stoppage here with 13:05 remaining in the third period. Weisner and Phillips on the D-line. JC, Johnson, and Howard are your forwards. Johnson to take the drop. Chicago controls the face-off. They'll circle behind their own net. Trying to play it up and out. They get it up to the left winger on the breakdown. Long cross ice pass to the right winger. Weisner back checking. Fan on the pass. Kicked aside by Eager. Dug out by Johnson behind the net. Playing it up, looking for JC. This puck picked up in the slot. Couldn't pull the trigger though. Chicago had a shot there. JC picks up the loose puck. He's across the red line. Dump it back down in the Chicago zone. Johnson chasing after it. Chicago goalie leaves it for his own defender. Circles behind the net. He'll break it out on the right side. Sauce pass picked up by JC though. JC through the neutral zone, or through the slot. Shot by Johnson right on target. Kicked aside by the Chicago goalie. Loose puck comes back to the point. Howard chips it back in. Clearing attempt by Chicago. Kept in by Howard momentarily, but they eventually clear it out. Howard comes back out and chips it in. Line change for Kansas City. Outlet pass. Picked up by Weisner. Weisner chips it ahead to Smith. Smith across the blue line. Plays it back to Weisner. Shot coming from Weisner. Glove save by the Chicago goalie. Good puck movement by Kansas City. Smith back to Weisner. Quick snapshot. Glove down by the Chicago goalie. Hangs on for no rebound. Get another face-off here in the Chicago zone. Face-off on the far side. Smith will take it. Powell and Hill back on D. Controlled by Kansas City. Quick shot from Dungy. Blocked, didn't get through the traffic. Weisner back checking. Picks up the pass, chips it ahead to, picks up the puck, I should say. Chips the pass up to Smith. Just out of his reach. Chicago goalie leaves it for his own defender who chips it up, trying to clear it out. Tied up on the near boards though. Powell and Dungy there. Powell trying to chip it ahead down low. Looking for Smith or Dungy. Dungy digs it out. Looking for a centering pass. Poke checked away, but Weisner back there in support as well. Weisner back to Dungy. Weisner plays it back to the point to Powell. Powell keeps it into the blue line, trying to create some space for himself for a shot. Gets blocked by a Chicago defender. Weisner looking for a shot, trying to play it back to the point. He plays it back to Powell. Powell trying to get a pass over to Smith, but picked off in the slot. Outlet pass. Chicago had someone behind the KC defense, but couldn't get the pass through. Chicago chips it ahead, back in the KC zone. Hill picks up the loose puck. Hill plays it out to Brown. Brown trying to chip it ahead. Couldn't get it through the traffic. Eventually poked back to Brown. Brown across the blue line. Smith and Brown tied up on the near side. Eventually kicked out by Chicago. Barron picks up a loose puck. Barron trying to get across the blue line. Regains possession. Down to the face-off dot. Right in front. Shot! Scores! Asher Barron ties the game for Kansas City. Skates through some traffic down to the face-off dot. Plays it through the 5-hole and ties it up. Great shot by Asher Barron as he got through some traffic, went around a couple defenders, down to the face-off dot, pulled it back right in front of the crease, beat the goalie 5-hole, and Kansas City has tied the game 2-2 with 10.5 minutes remaining in the third period. Face-off controlled by Chicago, trying to get a quick shot. McLean with a poke check, though, disrupts the attempt. McLean ties his man up behind the net. Chipped ahead by Johnson. Johnson trying to play it up to Brown off the boards. He clears his zone, but just out of the reach for Brown. Chicago chips it back ahead, back into Kansas City zone. Good poke check by McClin back there. Breaks up that centering attempt. Myers in pursuit. Myers loses an edge. McClin chases the man behind the net. Play it back to the left point. Send it back down low. Johnson picks up the errant pass. Tries to backhand it back to Barron. Barron picks up the puck. Barron and Brown breaking it out. Backhand pass by Barron looking for Myers. Just out of his reach. Chicago tries to dump it back in on a centering pass. Or trying to dump it in for a line change. Picked up at center ice by Kansas City. Shot by Barron. Goes wide left. The dangerous bouncer there. Just let it fly. Kicked aside by the Chicago goalie.
Take them, Roman!
Chicago across the blue line. Pass for a streaking Chicago forward. Just out of his reach. Picked up by Smith. Smith circles around the faceoff dot. He plays it out looking for Bachta, just out of Bachta's reach, or behind him, I should say, but it does clear the zone. Chicago dumps it right back in, though. Landon Weisner behind his own net. Plays it off the boards looking for Smith. Just out of his reach. Chicago picks up the loose puck. They'll play it back to the defender, back to the right D. Quickly through the neutral zone and back into Kansas City zone. Chipped out by KC. Chicago resets into the zone on the left side, looking for a centering pass. Poke check by Weisner disrupts that pass. Allender on the near side as well. Phillips bodies up his man. Smith there in support. Smith trying to dig it out. Phillips and Smith tied up with two Chicago Blues in the far boards. Test of strength here on the far boards in the corner. Eventually kicked out. Allender picks up the puck. Allender backhands it behind the net, looking for Weisner. Weisner will pick it up behind Eager. Lays it up on the far boards, looking for Bachta. Loose puck picked up at center ice. Allender picks up the puck. He's across the blue line. Allender trying to go down low around the traffic. Centering pass. Bouncer goes off the side of the net. Allender picks it up. Loose puck right in front. Shot right in front. Loose puck bouncing around. Couldn't get a stick on it. Good attempt there by Kansas City. Good pressure by Allender. Got a shot off. Loose puck came in front. Couldn't pull the trigger. Line change for Kansas City. JC on the ice with Howard. Weiser on the far side. Chicago clears the zone. They chip it back to center ice. Powell there with the poke check. Chicago on a line change. They just dump it in. Powell chasing after it. They try to smack it around behind the net. Can't quite clear it out though. Powell and Howard trying to tie up their man. Centering pass picked off by Howard. Howard trying to play it ahead to JC. Off the boards. JC trying to get it around some traffic. Poke check by Chicago at the last second. Howard picks up the loose puck. He'll smack it down into the Chicago zone, but that'll be an icing call. Just over 7 minutes remaining. Going to face off back down to the Kansas City zone. 2-2 your score here in this third period of the third game of pool play. Kansas City dug a hole early, got down 2-0, and has fought back to tie this game in the third period. Smith to take the face-off. Quick shot after the face-off win by Chicago, turned aside by Eager and cleared by Kansas City. They cleared back to the neutral zone. Smith back-checking, or forechecking, I should say. Good pressure by Smith. Dungy chips it ahead to Smith. Smith looking back for Dungy right in front. Johnson there in the slot as well, but chipped aside by Chicago. They play it back to the point, kept in by Barron. Barron chips it back down low. Smith trying to play it back to the point to Barron. It comes back to Barron. Shot gets tipped high over the crossbar. Johnson will chase it down. Johnson trying to play it back into the corner, but picked off by Chicago. Dungy trying to chip it back down low. Johnson in support as well. Dungy picks it up, centering pass, looking for Smith. Backhand attempt by Smith, got poke checked away at the last second. Johnson there in support. Comes back to the point. McClin trying to keep it alive, but Chicago clears it out. Dungy ties up his man. Johnson on the far boards. Loose puck trickles back out to the red line. Chicago regains control. Dungy chasing after it. McClin and Barron back on D. McClin forces the man behind the net. Good poke check by Barron and McClin. They'll send it back to the right D. Johnson streaking, had a gap there. Chipped ahead though by Barron. Barron to Johnson. 2-on-1 break. Kansas City. Johnson pulling it back to the slot. Shot. Leg pad save. Shot. Scored. Asher Barron with the rebound. A shot by Johnson. Save initially. Poked back in by Barron on the rebound. Kansas City goes up 3-2 with just over 5 minutes remaining in the third period. 2-on rush there by Johnson and Barron. Initial shot by Barron, save on the leg pad by the Chicago goalie, and Barron tucks in the rebound. That makes it 3-2 Kansas City. Chicago with a quick rush after the face-off win. Loose puck right in front. And they can't pull the trigger. Empty net, almost a wide open left side, but good job by the Kansas City defense to poke it away before they could pull the trigger. Kansas City breaks down the left side, down across center ice. Weiser dumps it in. Myers and Weiser chasing after it. Phillips and Landon Weiser back on deep. Chicago clears it out. Landon Weiser chips it back in, but Kansas City offsides. The stoppage in play here with just over 5 minutes remaining. Phillips and Weiser back on D. Line change for Kansas City. Logan Weisner, Brady Brown, and Crosby, Howard are your forwards. Howard to take the face-off. Kansas City wins the face-off. Howard tips it over to Brown. Brown trying to play it around some traffic. Poke checked away, though, by Chicago. Weisner back checking. 2-on-2 break here for Chicago. They play it over to the right side. Shot, glove saved by Eager, and he hangs on to it. Quick rush, Chicago. Quick snapshot from the face-off dot on the right side, and Eager hangs on. Face-off just to the left of Eager. Howard to take the face-off. Howard wins it back to Phillips. Phillips plays it backhand, Brown behind his own net. Picked up by Brown. Brown gets tripped up on a poke check by Chicago. Weisner there as well in support with Howard. Tied up on the near boards, trying to dig it out. Weisner eventually comes away with it. Chipped away though by Chicago. Howard ties up his man in the corner. They play it back to the left point. Play it back down low to the face-off circle. They'll circle around. Poke check by Brown disrupts the play. Chicago trying to set something up. A couple good timely poke checks by Kansas City, though, preventing the good pass from happening. They play it back to the point. Dump it back down low. Phillips chases after it. Phillips ties up his man, frees it up for Weisner. Weisner picks up the puck. Weisner hits the brakes, evades some traffic. Backhands it back over to Brown. Just under 4 minutes remaining. Brown fanned on it, but it tips over to Weisner. Weisner gets it out of the zone, chips it ahead for Howard. Play it back to the red line. Kansas City on a line change. Powell on the ice with Landon Weisner. Pull it back to the slot. Quick shot, tip though, goes over the crossbar behind Eager. Smith taps it ahead, looking for Howard. Poke check by Chicago though. They'll play it back to their own D. They'll dump it in across the blue line. Weisner and Powell on the ice for Kansas City. Cleared by KC. 3.5 minutes, right on target. Loose puck right in front. Allender right there. Loose puck just slid right into the crease. The Chicago goalie trying to play it over to a defender, but fanned on it, couldn't get a good pass. Eventually had to cover it up for a face-off. Smith will take the face-off here with Allender and Bacta on the wings. Powell and Hill are your defenders. Kansas City controls the face-off, but couldn't quite get it back to the point for Powell. And Chicago picks it up and rushes out of the zone. They'll dump it in. Cross both red lines, though. That'll be an icing call. Do another face-off back down in the Chicago zone.
Come on, guys.
Smith trying to win the face-off forward, chipped it ahead, but picked up by Chicago. Chicago tries to clear the zone. Powell keeps it in, chips it back over the blue line. Bacta picks up a loose puck. Bacta's got Smith and Allender. Shot, loose puck right in front. Bouncer corralled by the Chicago defense. Bouncing around right there in the crease. Good opportunity for Kansas City, but corralled by the Chicago defense and eventually cleared out. Good poke check by Bacta. Loose puck in front, cleared out. Good back check by Allender. Allender taps it ahead to Smith. Smith with a head of steam across the red line. He dumps it in the zone across the red line, chasing after it. Good effort by Smith. Good forecheck pressure. JC as well with a good poke check, trying to keep the play alive right at the blue line there. Dungy trying to keep it alive, but it's eventually cleared out by Chicago. 2.5 minutes remaining in the third period. Barron with a poke check, taps it ahead to JC. JC and Johnson. JC dumps it down, looking for Johnson behind the net. The puck circles behind the Chicago goal. They try to clear it out. They do get it out. Kept in by McClin, though, at the neutral zone. He chips it back in the Chicago zone. Johnson will chase after it. Johnson behind the net with a good poke check. Frees up the puck, centering pass right in front. Kick behind the net. Chicago defender picked up the loose puck. They'll try to clear it out. Dumped back in by McClin. Long cross ice pass picked up by Barron. Barron plays it off the boards. Trying to get up ahead to JC through the neutral zone. Picked off by Chicago. JC and Barron on the near boards. Tied up their men. Dug out by Johnson. Johnson chips it ahead looking for Dungy. Fresh off the bench is Smith. Good poke check there on the far side. Chicago comes away with it. They play it back to the left point. Poke check by Barron, though, disrupts that shot. Just over a minute remaining. Puck goes off the side of the net. Picked up by Smith behind his own net. Trying to play it up and out of the zone. Dungy trying to poke it out. Chicago keeps it in. They're tied up on the far boards. Centering pass, Howard with a poke check. Shot goes behind the net. Karam's up to the left point. 1 minute remaining in the period. Chicago trying to get something set up. A couple poke checks by Kansas City, though, preventing the pass. And cleared out by Kansas City. Empty net. Extra attacker for Chicago. The puck will settle down. No icing. Doesn't reach the red line. Chicago trying to play it out of the zone. Smith plays it right back in, but icing, or I should say offsides, as Howard was still in the zone when Smith dumped it back in, but nevertheless burned some clock. We'll get a face-off just over the blue line here. Empty net for Chicago, extra attacker. 6-on-5 for the Skaters. Smith will take the face-off with Weiser and Howard on the wings. Face-off controlled by Chicago. Chip it ahead of the red line, trying to set something up. Good poke check by Smith. Shot wide left of Eager. 30 seconds remaining in the game. Chicago goalie back off the ice after the face-off. Extra attacker on. Pass back to the blue line, looking to set something up. 19 seconds remaining. Shot from the face-off dot. Pass chipped wide. 15 seconds remaining. Another centering pass kicked aside by Howard. Howard with a great poke check that poked that away before he got to the slot. Glove down and cleared the zone. 5 seconds remaining. One final attempt by Chicago. 1 second left. And that'll do it. Kansas City wins it with a come-from-behind victory. 3-2 after being down 2-0. Great comeback victory for Kansas City. They finished 3-0 in pool play. 2 o'clock game later with an opponent to be determined in bracket play, but Kansas City finishing up undefeated in pool play after a come-from-behind victory here against the Chicago Blues. Great game. Kansas City fought back after digging the early hole. Never gave up, just kept chipping away. Good game all around. Not sure of the rink yet, I'm not sure of the opponent yet, but I do believe we're going to play at 2 o'clock in the first bracket play game. Once bracket play starts, of course, it's win or go home. So if they win this afternoon, there'll be Sunday games. Play until you lose. If they lose in the 2 o'clock game, their weekend would be over. That would be their 4th game with a 4-game guarantee. But once bracket play starts, it's win or go home. So we'll see who the opponent is this afternoon. Should be a 2 o'clock start. Find out which rink we're at. See if Kansas City can keep the streak going. 3-2 your final. Kansas City wins it 3-0 on pool play. We'll see you this afternoon.